everybody, this is Kodak here, and welcome back to more Bakugan Battle Planet. Today, we are taking a look at the second of the deluxe Bakugan I picked up today, Aurelus Maxotaur, the Bakugan Ultra Deluxe Aurelus Maxotaur. Now, Aurelus, previously, a lot of us thought that Aurelus, or at least I thought that Aurelus was going to be the new Subterra, and honestly, can you blame me? According to the pictures with the sort of orange and the silver, it looked a lot like how Subterra ended up by Mectanium Surge, but apparently Subterra has been completely eliminated. Why? Apparently they said it was the lowest seller, but they didn't get rid of Pohatu just because he was a low seller, but apparently Aurelus is its own special treatment. Aurelus AU is AU, if you're familiar with your periodic table, is the it's based on the Latin word for gold. So we have gold and we have diamond, two very fun Pokemon games, although Pearl is probably a little bit better. But it has that kind of nice, rich, orangey gold I've talked about, although it's perhaps a bit too orangey, if I'm being truly honest here. It almost looks brown, which is why we thought it was the new Subterra. Although, speaking of Subterra, I am going to be comparing this deluxe Aurelus Maxotaur with Subterra Saboteur, which was a Bakugan that was famous for briefly having the highest G power of any Bakugan currently available, and to my understanding, Aurelus' shtick is that it is high power but low support, so basically Subterra, go figure. So, let's take a look at this box here. So, we of course have Aurelus Maxotaur here. Wow, his fist is actually far enough out that it was actually pushing against this this kind of bubble that forms here. We have our boy in there with a long tail that kind of reminds me of like the Bakugan from Mectanium Surge that did the jumping. We have, of course, a nice big picture of him on the front of the box here. It's nice and colored gold. Now this is maybe more the gold I could have gone for. I mean, I like myself a nice rich orangey gold, but maybe slightly brassier might have made a better look. But this thing is also allegedly difficulty 3, and after how crazy Garganoid Ultra was, this thing definitely wore the complexity 3 very nicely. Be sure to check out this last video about this guy to see some more thoughts on it, but we'll have to see about that. It comes with a regular shield and a Helix Baku core, along with, of course, the 2 cards. Taking a look inside, we can see the transformation instructions, which also doubles as a checklist, as well as the quick play rules, although the transformation instructions make them Ventus, although that's because in the actual show, the Maxotaur that is used in the show by the character Wanna Riot, Trina Riot, that's her name is Trina Riot. I guess she must be the daughter of Ivana Riot. So we're going to take a look on the inside here. And so here we have the contents of the Maxotaur, the Aurelus Maxotaur booster pack. So we have our folded up Maxotaur here, and geez, I just can't get over how ugly some of these Bakugan look in their ball form. But it came with 2 cards, Maxotaur Ultra, Aurelus Maxotaur Ultra, B power 600, 1 damage. If it lands on a Helix, which it gets one of, it gets plus 200 B power and plus 2 damage. That sounds pretty good, but it doesn't seem that much stronger than normal. I mean, Pegatrix is kind of the same way. And it looks like on the basic cards, it trades B power for damage. And so based on what I found out when I opened this thing up, I assume that this printed number is meant to also represent the printed number on the Bakugan itself, which makes me wonder why the Bakugan even have printed numbers to begin with. But it also came with a Ventus ability card, Strength of Maxotaur, where for 4 energy, you do plus 8 damage. And holy cow, that is like 1/5 of somebody's life points in a single go right there. And that's not including the cards they've already drawn to start the game. So that is dangerously aggressive looking at that card there. Although, let's see, the Helix cards actually seem to be trade-offs, because this Helix gives plus 600 B power, which is tremendous, at the cost of minus 3 damage, which would completely offset Maxotaur's ability and change its damage to 0. So that is like a stupidly defensive token, and then it comes with a shield, which gives Aquos and Darkus plus 400 B power. So There must be something I'm missing here. I'm not sure what sort of special treatment Aurelus is supposed to get, because I'm not seeing like the crazy high power that was advertised before. Maybe there's a special evolution card for Maxotaur or something that really turns it around. Can it use this card? It makes me wonder if you can use cards that match the name written on the character. It also, of course, comes with the transformation guide that has a checklist and the quick play rules, like Ultra Garganoid. So let's dare to compare this thing to the classic Saboteur. As you can see, the ball is quite a bit larger than the original Saboteur, so this might be more in line with the B3, which we're going to find out once we take a proper look at Diamond Hydrus over here. But this guy, it's a whole lot larger, but at the same time, it's kind of ugly. You can see like there's this huge space in the ball here that I can get the chopstick inside that's just not part of the sphere. And of course we have the gigantic joint parts there that just really upset the smoothness of the ball, makes it harder to roll, makes it just a lot less appealing when it's folded up. But let's see how it looks when we unfold it. And here we have our Aurelus Maxotaur compared with the classic Subterra Saboteur. It is a really nice, rich color that this Maxotaur gets. You can see the card actually gets picked up on its back, and this is supposed to do a flip, although I don't think I got much of a flip when I did that. Not the most reliable gimmick in the world, is it? But it's got these big ol' axe hands. These are actually, I think, supposed to be weapons that it's wielding. In the show, it like throws around weapons about as much as Hela does in Thor Ragnarok. But it's very nice. There's actually one thing I forgot to mention in the Chaos Garganoid review is that there's actually very little additional transformation that happens with these characters. You do transform you don't transform anything with Chaos Garganoid. Here you do have to fold out the feet, but that's still not much compared to Saboteur over here. Saboteur is like a project to get transformed all the way, so it's kind of nice that they were able to simplify that gimmick a bit. I mean, if there were a way to like get rid of this as well, that would also be pretty nice. But let's take a closer look at him. Okay, here he is. Very hefty Bakugan here. You can see there's a lot of bulk going on his back here. Here's where his magnet is, along with the spring. We of course have the screws here. We have the axes here, which actually kind of flip around like they were axes. Supposedly these are actually these aren't his hands, they're actually like his weapons. We have the little feet. They are the only part of this Bakugan that actually have joints on them, just some little feet to fold out to have him stand up, and he does stand up perfectly well, perfectly stably on his own, although he is aided by his giant tail back here. The tail, I guess this is supposed to be spring-loaded. It doesn't really have a lot of tension to it, however. You can see the B power on his butt, B power 600. It would be kind of nice if they included the damage on here too, unless they plan on putting out like variant cards for these characters. Might not have been a bad idea to put the base damage on here as well. Although maybe this is just to be a nod to the original. But yeah, the tail, which I think is supposed to spring him into that backflip, does not have a lot of tension. Like the Bakugan in Mectanium Surge that had that same gimmick actually had a lot of tension in that spring, and this one has next to none at all, which is kind of surprising considering just how bulky the rest of him is. We have some nice hexagonal design there, kind of like what we saw with the Chaos Garganoid. Let's take a look at his face there. Oh, this side is kind of marred by a screw, but on this side here, along with the horns, did they? Oh yeah, it looks like they molded the eyes for this guy too. Kind of molded the eyes for him. The ones with Garganoid, I think, are a bit more impressive. These are a lot larger. We have the painted jaw here. It'll be interesting to get this thing in colors other than Aurelus, because let's see, Ventus seems to be the default with most of the support for him. So we're gonna have to take a look at that. Got some nice silver detail, very metallic. The idea, like I said, Aurelus is like Latin for gold, and AU is gold's atomic symbol. So it's clearly meant to be gold. It like I said, it almost looks like bronze or copper with just how orangey they made this golden color. I think, like I said, they should have made it maybe a bit more yellow to make it more clear that it's meant to be gold, because like I said, I mistook it for Subterra color the first time I saw the photographs of it. So this guy, even though they list him as a complexity 3, folding him up compared to Chaos Garganoid is just a joke. You curl up his toes, so he's kind of standing on his tippy toes here. The axes curl around and fold up. This is so much easier than Chaos Garganoid. The head comes down, very simple. Then the feet fold up, feet curl up, the tail comes and locks it into place. Yeah, that's a joke compared to Chaos Ultra Garganoid. Ultra Garganoid was a pain in the butt, although that kind of brings back just how awkward this thing looks. Although honestly, these joints, I assume they're here for strength, but honestly, it would not surprise me if you could just sand down these joints a bit to give it a more flush appearance, because this is like, oh, whatever that no-net Bakugan was in Mectanium Surge that had like just that was practically a square with how many it had. It's kind of reminding me of that. I kind of worry about just how grotesquely these things are designed with all these bulging joints on them. And of course, here we have the magnet down here along with the arrow telling us where to spin. Axes all nice and folded up, and these huge gaps here. I kind of wish we could have gotten anything to fill in these gaps, because I can practically see down into the entire Bakugan from here. This has probably been the weak part of the line so far, has been these deluxe Bakugan in their ball forms. I assume that the core Bakugan probably look a lot better. That seems to be the impression I'm getting, but we're going to take a look. All right, so that is a look at Aurelus Maxotaur. Clearly there's something I'm missing about the Aurelus attribute, whether it's some sort of special treatment or something like that, but we're going to take a look at some more, and until next time, this is Kodak signing off. Join us next time as we take a look at Diamond Hyderus.
Bakugan Brawl, it's a big brawl. Bakugan Brawl is for it all. Bakugan Brawl, standing tall, we're the awesome ones. Powers in our hand, take a stand, saving everyone.